Good afternoon, I'm Philip Sadler. Welcome to Essentials number 4 of the beginning poses. The first 3 to 5 minutes will be a centering, a little bit of a meditation, and then after that we'll get moving. If you want to jump ahead, go ahead and pause here and jump ahead to where all the action is. Let's begin. Take a nice seat and close your eyes. As you take a nice seat, allow your hips to ground down into your mat, down into the earth. As your hips root downward, allow your spine to lengthen upward, all the way through the crown of your head, so you can sit tall with ease. Become aware of your breathing. Breathing through your nose. Resist the urge to control your breath. Allow your breath to move freely. Become aware of your breathing. As you inhale, silently say to yourself, "This is my inhale." And as you exhale, "This is my exhale." This is my inhale. This is my exhale. Your mind wanders. Guide yourself back here on your mat. Become aware of your breathing. This is my inhale. This is my exhale. We'll be here for another 30 seconds. You can gently open your eyes. All right, let's get moving. Go ahead and come onto your backs with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Go ahead and lift your feet up off the floor. Hover your knees over your hips. And then I want you to draw the spine, your low back, down into the mat. And you can do that by rolling your pelvis under and pulling your ribs in. Now take your hands on the front of your knees here and push your hands into your knees and your knees back into your hands. And right away, with that action of pressing your hands and your knees together, you may start to shake. And that's okay. Good. And then release your legs down and your arms down and rest. It's called abdominal bracing. Let's try that again. Float your legs up, flex your feet, spread your toes, imprint your low back into the mat, hands on the knees here. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, turn it on. Now, use here in the beginning, let's say about 40% of your effort, pushing your hands into your knees into your hands. Okay, now turn it up to about 60%. 60% effort. That's it. And release it down. Whew. Rest. Good. One more round. Float the feet up. Hands on your legs. Imprint your low back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, turn it on. Good. Now turn it right away up to 60%. Yeah. And then up to 70. Oh, maybe a little bit higher if you can feel it. Just keep pushing. It's okay to shake. And release it down. Ooh, walk your feet out to the outer edges of your mat. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And with an inhale, stretch the arms all the way overhead. And as you exhale, knees cross over to let's go to the left. And you can look out over to the right, stretch across your abdomen. Deepen your breathing down into your abdomen. A little bit of action in your feet, so your feet are awake. Hug your shins in. And deepen the hip creases, deepen the groin. Firm your shoulder blades onto your back. Should feel like a nice, glorious yawn. You're still in bed almost. Good. And with your exhale, bring the legs back up to the top, and we'll go to the other side. Knees over to the right. Your gaze out over to the left. That's it. Good, and then bring your legs back up to the top. Open your arms out perpendicular to your body so that your palms will face upward. Tuck your shoulder blades under, and I want you to click your fingernails down into the mat, so especially your pinky and your thumb, both hands down. And notice how that invites you into engaging a little bit more with your arms. Now, float one leg up and then the other. Feet are alive. Knees, well, there's a little bit of a gap between your knees. Now I want you to take your knees, your legs, over to the left, just halfway. Pause there, and firm especially that right shoulder blade onto the back. Yeah, you want to keep your shoulders firming down into the mat as your legs go over to the side. With your next breath, bring them back up to the top. And then let's go to the other side. Knees over, for me, over to the right. And that left shoulder blade firms. Now if you look at your knees, see if you can make your knees line up so that that left one wants to foreshorten a little bit. So I have to kind of move my hip just a tiny bit to make my knees line up. Exhale the legs back up to the top. Let's add a little rhythm into it. With your breath, inhale over to the left. And then exhale back up to the top. Inhale through the nose, exhale through pursed lips, and then back up to the top. Start to move with the rhythm of your own breathing, going from side to side. Now, those of you that are more familiar, have a more vigorous practice, you could take your legs a little bit further. Halfway is pretty good. If you're a lot stronger, you could straighten your legs, and that creates a little bit longer lever to move your legs from side to side. Inhaling over to the right. Exhaling back up. Good, one more round. Inhaling as you move the legs over. Exhale, using the breath to pull all the legs back up. Last one. Make it your best. Good, and then bend your knees. Put your feet on the floor. Release your arms. Good, roll over onto your side. Make your way up onto all fours. From all fours, hands will be below your shoulders, knees below your hips. You could do either toes curled under or tops of the feet flat on the floor, whatever works for you. Firm around your midsection. Squeeze the mat with both hands. And now stretch your right leg back till the toes are on the floor, and then float the right leg up to hip height, just hip height. From the sole of your foot, root into your pelvis. Engage the butt, right? All around your hip. Squeeze it as you lift that leg up. Good, and lower the leg down. Let's do the other side. Left leg reaches back and float it up. Now that back foot, the toes are spread, the foot is flexed, both hands on the floor and lightly engaging. One more breath. And lower your leg down. Back to the first side. Right leg stretches back and you'll float it up. Left arm, sneak that left hand forward till just the fingertips are on the floor. And then if you want to go a little further, reach the left arm up until the upper arm is close to your ear. Keep breathing. You don't want to let the belly go in the midsection. Keep that nice and engaged. Good. Lower the leg and arm. Let's do the other side. Left leg reaches back, float it up. Right arm sneaks forward, get your balance, and then float the right arm up. Turn your palm so it faces the middle of your mat. Squeeze the mat with your left hand. Lift that left leg up. Right armpit is lifting. One more breath. And lower your limbs. Good, sit back on your heels. Shake it out a little bit. Maybe your wrists and hands might get a little bit sensitive doing that. We got one more round. This one, we're going to move our arm and our leg off the midline with our breath. And it doesn't have to move very far, just no more than 45 degrees. Let's try it. Come on to all fours. Stretch the right leg back and float it up. Left arm reaches forward and lifts up. With your next inhale, arm and leg move away from the midline. And as you exhale, squeeze them both in. Inhale, open. Exhale, back to the center. Inhale, arm and leg move away. Exhale, squeeze it in. Two more. And last one. Hug the arm and leg in and lower them down. Second side. Left leg reaches back and lift. Right arm reaches forward, float it up. With your inhale, arm and leg move away. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug it in. Follow your breath. Especially use that exhale to create a strong connection to the middle of your mat, middle of your body. Last one. Hug it in and lower your limbs. Push your hips back into child's pose. Big toes come together, your knees open, and just rest. 3 breaths. Close your eyes, go inside. You might find it helpful to silently again say to yourself, this is my inhale. This is my exhale. And then come up onto all fours. We'll do a side plank variation. Stretch your left leg back and spin your foot down so your foot is flat to the mat. And then you'll take your right foot and pivot the leg so the foot comes behind you. And then you'll line up your right hand with your knee and your foot. Take your hand to your hip. Now, if this is sensitive for your knee, go ahead and use a blanket. Squeeze the mat with your right hand. And now with your inhale, reach your left arm up. And as you exhale, stretch the left arm overhead. You can look straight ahead if that's more comfortable for your neck, or you could look up towards the sky. That left foot could stay on the floor. If you want to go a little bit further, float the left leg up, left foot flexed. Last breath. Put the foot down, sweep the arm all the way around, come back onto all fours, and we'll do the other side. I'm going to turn around so you can see from the front. Right leg reaches back, foot comes flat, left foot comes behind you, and then you shift that left hand so that you have the leg, the knee, and the foot all in one plane. Turn your chest open towards the front. Engage with your left hand, and even look at your left hand. Make sure the wrinkles of your wrists line up with the front edge of the mat, so your arm's not turned out or turned in. Firm your shoulder blades onto your back. Reach the right arm up and stretch it overhead. If you want, lift that right leg up away from the floor. Stay with your breath. Become aware of your breathing. And then you can put the foot down, sweep the arm all the way around, come back onto all fours. Turn myself around here. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees and hips into downward facing dog. Go ahead and move through your down dog, however feels good to you today. And now walk your feet forward to the front of your mat into a standing forward fold. Feet at least hip width apart. Inhale as you come halfway up. Either hands stay on the floor or to the tops of your knees. Lengthen your spine, and with your exhale, bow forward. Inhale again, come halfway up. I'll demonstrate the one with the hands on the knees, getting really long in the spine. Exhale as you fold. Good, one more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Take your hands to your hips. Firm your shoulder blades onto your back, and with your inhale, come all the way up. Reach the arms up, and hands come together at your heart. Let's flow with our breath. With your next inhale, you can sweep the arms around and up. Exhale as you fold over, touch the floor. Again, halfway up. Step yourself back to plank, push-up position. If you need to, lower to your knees and lower yourself all the way to your stomach. Extend your toes for a little baby cobra. Firm your legs, firm around your belly, lift your chest up. Now for this version of cobra, I want you to drop your chin, lengthen your neck, and now pull your hands away from the mat and squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades together. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Go ahead and put your hands down. Now use your hands to help pull your heart and your spine forward, curling up maybe a little bit higher. Exhale it all back down. Curl your toes under, push yourself to plank or that diagonal push-up position, and then lift your knees and hips into downward facing dog. Three breaths. Last breath. On your exhale, bend your knees, look up between your hands, and then you can step or hop your feet forward to the front of your mat. Standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale as you bow. Inhale, rise, standing, come up. Reach up through your arms and hands, even look up. And then bring your hands together back to your heart. Let's do another one of those. Inhale. Reach the arms around and up. Exhale. Fold forward, touch the floor. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you step back to plank. Keep exhaling all the way to your stomach. Extend your toes. Inhale, curl your chest up for cobra. Or if some of you feel warm enough, you could curl your chest and spine all the way up into up dog. Exhale, push yourself back, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Bend your knees, look up. Make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, rise, standing, come up. And hands together at your heart. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back. Lower all the way down. Extend your toes. Curl your chest up. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. From down dog, step your feet a little bit closer together, and then I want you to step that right leg forward between your hands. Come into a lunge. And now transition your hands to your front knee. You're coming more upright, more vertical. Bend both legs. Get your balance, and then see if you can transition your hands to your hips. Square your hips to the front and square your shoulders. Legs are in parallel. Now work towards straightening the back leg. Send that left thigh back, firm around your midsection. Either stay here, hands in your hips, this is pretty steady, or if you can, reach your arms up. This is our crescent pose, a warrior one variation. Lift your arms up. Push down through your legs. If you can, even walk your gaze up so you look up a little bit. One more breath. On your exhale, reach out, touch the floor. Step yourself back to plank. Some of you may want to do another lowering through chaturanga for cobra. Others may rest in child's pose. Or if you want, you could just lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Your choice. Breathe. And let's do the other side. Step your left leg forward. Line up your fingertips with your toe, your front toes. And then you'll transition your hands to your front knee. Get your balance. Bend the back knee, hands to your hips. Now, one way we can get our balance is to fix our gaze. So that means to really stare out in front of you. Straighten the back leg. To straighten the back leg, you not only send that thigh back, but you engage your buttocks, that right hip. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. Go wherever your breath is leading you. Reach out, touch the floor. Step back to plank. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, lower all the way to your stomach. Reach your hands back next to your hips. Release the toes so the tops of your feet are on the floor. Firm your legs. Draw the skin of your belly away from the mat. Get your shoulder blades firming onto your back. With your inhale, lift your head and chest up. Just head and chest for this pose, locust pose. Spread the toes. Try and get all 10 toes to press into the mat. Legs are firming. Belly's drawing in. 2 more breaths. Last breath. And release it all down. Let your shoulders round. Turn your cheek to one side. Rest. Turn your head the other way. Bend the center of your head on your mat. Bring your hands back next to your ribs. Toes are curled under. Either push into plank or push to your knees. And then lift your knees and hips, down dog. Bend your knees, look up. Make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, rise. And hands come together. Let's do the tree pose. I'm going to step back a little bit so I have some room to lift my arms up. You might even see my full body here. Take your hands to your hips. Now stand, I'll mirror you, so I'm going to stand on my left, but you're going to stand on your right. Now some of you may be challenged with your balance a little bit, so you could just do this little pose here where you keep your toes on the floor, pressing the sole of your foot against the ankle. If you feel like a little bit more steady, you could draw that foot up to your shin. If you want to bring your foot higher, go past your knee. Go above the knee with the heel all the way into the groin, pressing the sole of your foot against your thigh and your thigh against the sole of your foot. Fix your gaze out in front of you. I'm looking right into the camera, looking right into you. Hands together in front of your heart. Steady breath, steady eyes. If you want, you could reach your arms up. Maybe even walk your gaze up a little bit. And then bring your hands back together at your heart. Lower your leg. Shake it out. Let's do the other side. Again, you can do this version where you keep the toes of the foot on the ground. That can help you to create some stability. If you want to go further, bring your foot up. I'll show you this one, pressing my foot against my shin. If you can, hands together at your heart. Steady breath. This is my inhale. This is my exhale. Good. Bring it all back in. Hands together. And lower your foot. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Come back to hands together at the front of your mat. Soften your eyes. Turn to your breath. With your next inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms around and up. And as you exhale, fold over, touch the floor. Inhale halfway. Exhale, step back to plank. Those of you that want to flow through vinyasa, through a plank, chaturanga, cobra, up dog, you're welcome to do that. Or just lift your hips into downward facing dog. And breathe. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And lower your knees to the floor. Good. Swing your legs around in front. And come onto your backs. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right knee. We're working towards this pose we call figure 4. Reach your arms overhead towards the wall behind you. And now that right leg, right foot, lift it up off the mat. Flex your feet, spread your toes. Now if your hands don't touch the floor, you can hover your arms off the floor, but I'm doing this so I isolate this pose in my hips. draw your right leg, your right knee, towards your left ankle. Resist the urge to let your pelvis just roll under and your low back flatten into the mat. Keep breathing. Good, now let's use our arms and hands. Take your arms, bend your elbows. Now reach between your legs, interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Use the strength of your arms. Gently pull your thigh toward your heart. And keep this left foot, left ankle active. The integrity of that ankle should remain steady, not allowing your foot to turn inward, sickling, supinating. And release your hands, put the foot down, switch your legs to the other side. Cross the right ankle over, your arms, reach them overhead again, and then float the left foot up off the floor. Lift your hands away from the mat. That'll feel pretty good too. So your arms are engaged all the way into your shoulders. You're drawing your left knee, left thigh toward your heart. One more breath. Good, and now let's reach our hands through. Interlace your fingers behind the left thigh. Draw your thigh towards your heart. Breathe. Good, and release your hands. Lower the foot, uncross your ankle from your knee. Roll over onto your side. We're going to come upright again. Come onto your knees, and let's do another variation of the side plank, Vashisthasana. Your hands will be below your shoulders. And we did this before in the beginning where we stretched the left leg back, give yourself a little kickstand, came to the side. If this felt really good for you, right, then you're going to stay with this one. Yeah? The rest of us who want to go a little bit further, another variation, to lift your knees and hips into down dog. Feet come a little bit closer together. And then you'll spin your heels to the right. Come on to the fingertips of your left hand. Yeah? And then stack your feet and your ankles on top of each other. Squeeze the mat with that right hand. If you can go a little further, left hand to your left hip. Open your chest to the front. Either stay here with your hand on your hip or reach the arm up. Keep breathing. This is my inhale. This is my exhale. And lower your hand down. And we'll do the other side. Come into downward facing dog. Those of you on all fours, you'll stretch the right leg back. If you're doing it from down dog, spin your heels to the left. Come on to the right fingertips. This is a pretty good pose right here. Just using both hands to keep the hips lifted. If you can go further, right hand to your hip. Feet stacked. Push through that left arm. Reach the right arm up. Two more breaths. Last breath. Reach down, touch the floor. Rest in child's pose. Let your bones be heavy. All right. Come up onto your knees. Now this one is going to be maybe a little bit more challenging on your knees. It's called the camel pose, Ustrasana in Sanskrit. You might find it effective to roll up your mat to create a little bit of a cushion on your knees. You can do this pose either tops of the feet, a little more challenging, or curl your toes under. Let's do this more of a beginning version. Bend your elbows and make these robot arms, we call. With your inhale, I want you to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And then as you exhale, just circle them a little bit and flow the shoulder blades down your back. Hug your legs in. Really squeeze your legs towards each other and start to curl your chest up. Lift your chest, your sternum, and your face like you're trying to put your face up on the ceiling. Inhale back to center and sit back on your feet and rest. You can rest your palms in your lap, palms face up. We'll do the pose again. So that would be the beginning version, right? Just curling the chest up, shoulders hugging in, legs really engaged. If you go a little further, you could maybe reach back and touch your heels. Let's try that. I'll talk you through it. I'm going to do this with my toes curled under. Align with your breathing. With your next inhale, create lots of length in your side body from your hip bones all the way to your armpits. And then begin to curl your chest up. You're going a little further, reach back with one hand and then the other to touch your heels. When you get your heels, hug your shins in, curl your chest up. Firm your buttocks, move your hips forward. Keep breathing. With your exhale, come all the way back up. Rest back on your heels. And just pause. Good. All right. Go ahead and unwind your mat or your blanket out of the way. Stretch your legs out in front of you. If you have a blanket, go ahead and sit on a blanket. Swing both legs, both feet around to the left. I'm mirroring you. And then you'll put the top of this left ankle into the arch of the bottom foot, the right foot. And you're sitting on one hip here. Your right hand out to the side. Left hand, go ahead and put it onto the outside edge of your knee. Begin to turn your chest open to the side. Now you can continue to walk that right hand a little further behind you as you twist around to the right. Make that left hip, the hip you're twisting away from, make that really heavy. Look out over your shoulder. Good. Inhale your gaze back to center. And we'll swing our legs around to the other side. Ankle into the arch of the bottom foot. Left hand out to the side, helping you to sit tall. Right hand on the outside edge of your leg. Inhale and lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, deepen the twist. So I'm using a little bit of my arms and hands, but I'm also using the muscles on the front of my abdomen, little tiny muscles on my spine, from my tailbone all the way through my low back, ribs, throat, crown of my head, breathing. Turn your gaze back to center. Stretch your legs out. Bend your right knee. I'm still mirroring you. Bend your right knee. Support your knee with your left hand. Now this foot, you may bring it in very close or kind of far away. I'll show you from the side. The closer I bring my foot in, the more I'm challenged in my low back. See, it starts to flatten. So for my body, I need to have my foot kind of far away from me. Support your leg by drawing it to the midline. Other hand behind you. Push into your hand to help you get tall. Take a full breath in and turn towards that bent knee. Keep breathing. And inhale back to center. Switch your legs. Bend the knee and bring your foot in. Support the leg with the hand. Other hand goes behind you. Open your chest to the side. This leg that's straight, flex the foot, spread the toes. Take a breath in, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, deepen the twist. Each inhale getting a little bit taller, a little bit longer in your spine. Each exhale, lean into this twist. All right, then come back to center. Bend your knees wide. The Omega pose, more again of this baseball diamond shape rather than feet in really close. Pull the flesh from your sit bones so you have a nice firm foundation into the mat. Take a breath in, and your exhale, fold forward. As you fold forward, soften your eyes. Become aware of your breathing. This is my inhale. This is my exhale. With your next breath, make your way back up. Stretch your legs out, lay down on your back. I'm going to turn around here so I don't hit my beautiful potted plant with my hands. Go ahead and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then now reach the arms overhead towards the wall behind you. Energize your legs and feet. Allow your low back to move away from the mat. So you have a curve in your spine. Reach through your legs and your arms. We'll do 3 breaths here. Breathe down into your belly. Inflate your abdomen. And then exhale the breath. 2 more. Reach through the arms and legs. Breathe into the belly. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, reach. Full breath in. And exhale, let everything relax. Let your arms relax. Let your legs relax. And we'll transition into our final pose, Shavasana. You may want to leave your arms back up overhead. I'm going to bring my arms down next to my side. That feels a little bit more comfortable for me. Make any adjustments you need. Cover yourself with a blanket. Maybe grab your sweater. Make whatever adjustment in your shoulders or your hips feel absolutely comfortable. Let go of any effort now with your breath. No longer trying to observe it or shape it. You're welcome to lay here as long as you like. We'll just rest for 2 or 3 minutes. Rest deep. Deepen your breathing. Start to move your toes and your fingers, your feet, your hands. Stretch through your legs and arms. Make your way over onto your side. And pause here for a few breaths. And then use your arms and hands. Push yourself up to seated. Thank you all for coming and joining me in my yoga practice, sharing your yoga practice. Namaste.